Hey, peace world. So during the as we get into fall and winter, and since I saw people in Philadelphia yesterday after the election, and their celebration stuff in New York and NYC and Philly, people had on shorts. I was like, damn, it's really that warm outside? This is how much I spend I'm in my basement. But I saw the day where it was gonna get up into the 70s. My football team stinks, so I'm like, I'm gonna get outside and get some exercise in and get in a bike ride. So aiming for 40 miles. I think that was my goal for the end of the summer was like 40 or 50 miles, a 40 or 50 mile ride. I think the highest I got was 38 miles. I kind of misjudged. Something cost me those last 2 miles, and I got tired. I didn't get tired. I just got I didn't want to. The way I had to split the ride up in the areas that I got to ride through, I just was like, the hell with it, So it looks like Mother Nature is trying to give me another day to make that happen. So I'm gonna go out here and try to get 40 miles. I know I can't get to 50. I don't really have my endurance built up to take a shot at 50 because I've been riding indoors the last couple of weeks, and I've only really done an hour ride on my stationary setup maybe 2 or 3 times. A couple times I cut some corners and only got to 45. Only got to like 45 minutes. So, but the one thing that I wanted to come on here, and I'll probably have to go back and tag to let people know what I was really trying to talk about, but I went on and took some time and watched. I was interested to see what the two ladies did. The former ESPN talent, on-air talent, with the Cari champion and Jemele Hill. They, both of them had some. They went to the top of the game. With Cari champion being the moderator on First Take, which is one of the best sports shows, best rated or most viewed sports shows. She moderated that, and then I think she also was doing Sports Center, one of the top time slots for the Sports Center programs, and some other things. So she was doing her thing, and then Jemele Hill, I always reference Jay-Z when talking about her. She rode her way out the hood. Jemele Hill, I was reading her columns on ESPN back in the day when I used to work third shift, and I would read Jemele Hill's columns. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little tired of her always talking about race and everything, but she did that. You know what I'm saying? She took that from a 6-figure job to 7 figures a year. So how could I hate on that? But both of them ran into some troubles, some rocky endings along the way, and ended up, now both of them are gone from ESPN. And a couple of months ago, I saw that they had shows, a new show, starring both of them or featuring both of them, a new sports show on Vice, on the Vice network. I believe it's called Stick to Sports. Obviously, the title was taken from the fact that both of them kind of ran into some trouble for getting into veering over into political matters and expressing their personal thoughts, especially, most notably, Jemele Hill with, her criticism of Donald Trump and his presidency and him as an individual. And her and Michael Smith, as you know, were on Sports Center, the 6 o'clock Sports Center. And it quickly, they came over from His and Hers on ESPN2, and they tried to take this, this radical hip approach to covering sports on the 6 o'clock, the flagship Sports Center. And there was some excitement when it started, but it quickly, went downhill for everybody involved. And some of this was kind of precipitated or hastened by Jemele Hill's comments about, Donald Trump and the fallout from that. And that led to her being, her and Michael Smith were taken off of the show. And then I think Jemele Hill spent a little bit of time on ESPN, The Undefeated, where she was back writing columns, and so on and so forth. And then finally she was gone from ESPN. By the way, ESPN released terminated, like 300 associates yesterday, or at the end of this week. So a lot of troubles over there, man. A lot of things continuing to happen with the workforce. But I don't really want to get into all of that. Anyway, I checked out. I wanted to check out Stick to Sports as a dude who podcasts, vlogs, and whatever little content I create. I was highly interested in seeing what they were able to do in their new situation. One of the things that this isn't really criticism. Who am I to criticize what they do as the professionals that they've been and the levels that they've, ascended to? Who am I really to call them out? This is just what I noticed about the show. The one thing that jumps out immediately is that Cari Champion and Jemele Hill were able to get LeBron James to be on their first show, on the first episode of this Stick to Sports. And it was a love fest. I mean, they didn't really ask him any hard questions. It was kind of just them flexing their muscle in terms of the relationships that they have and who they can book on their show that somebody like a Stephen A. and a Jason Whitlock, they're not able to do that. And it's kind of a reason why those relationships between Stephen A. and a Jason Whitlock, that's why they've chosen to more or less be adversarial with the LeBron James often, Jason Whitlock almost exclusively, because he doesn't come on their shows. But here are these two ladies who were cast-offs from ESPN, and he's on their first show. And by the way, I meant to mention, I don't dislike Cari Champion per se, but I've never really gotten into her. I've never really connected with her as a sports personality, as an ESPN personality. I just haven't. Some things are personal preferences that I don't need to get into. But I know the one thing that really kind of was off-putting for me with her was when she did have Floyd Mayweather on. I think he came on to promote his fight with Conor McGregor. And Cari Champion, this was back in 2016, 2015, and Cari Champion opened the interview questioning Floyd Mayweather about his domestic violence situation. And again, who am I to tell her how to do her job? But it just seems so out of place. Her co-host at the time, who was on, the David guy, the blonde guy, I can't remember his last name. He didn't even know what to say. It was like, what are you doing? I don't even know if she told him in the pre-production meeting or whatever. I don't even know if she told him what her intentions were, what she was gonna ask. And Floyd Mayweather was he was obviously blindsided. He's on there to talk about Conor McGregor. Cari Champion takes it down this old issue, and I just thought it was a bad look. But it was her spot. That's how she chose to utilize this interview with the Floyd Mayweather. And I don't know, man. I just felt like that was a different kind of a discussion. And he was several months removed from the domestic violence situation, so I just felt it was out of place. And if that's what you wanted to talk about with him, that should have either been in a sit-down interview. I just thought it was it was misplaced. And I don't know. From that point on, I just really haven't connected with her sports coverage. Jemele Hill, I thought they were great on His and Hers. I really did. I like what they were doing, but I'm okay with Jemele Hill. But anyway, let's stick to sports. So like I said, LeBron James was on the first show. Obviously, not a lot of shows, or not a lot of those talk show hosts can really book a LeBron James and get him on there, but they did that, and it was a decent interview. It was what it was. I did not watch all of the episodes. They are available on demand. If you have however you watch TV, if it has an on-demand function, you can go to Vice. It came on Wednesday nights. It looked like they had about 8 to 10 episodes was the first season. They had actors on there, actresses on there. It was okay. But I think the one thing that kind of bugged me out, damn, ain't no parking spot. I knew that was gonna happen. Everybody trying to get out today. But as I was saying, I gotta go check at the other spot. Dang. Anyway, so the one thing that I thought was a knock against the show, and a partner on here that checks in on the channel from time to time, he hit me up on it one time when I was kind of speaking on or giving a lot of time to another group that I had an opposing viewpoint to, and he was like, I check out your channel to watch you talk your talk, and I tune in, I hit a video and you're on here going at them. That's taken away from what you do. And I was like, damn, I guess I respect that. I took the feedback and I kind of quit. I altered that. I quit speaking on this group and the noise from this group, and kind of went on back to focusing on what my platform was aimed at. So with them, they spent a lot of time in the first couple of episodes like stressing the fact that they were free from ESPN and could go in the creative direction that they wanted to go in, which was more, showcasing their blackness and their viewpoints as black women, and not can't think of that damn word. The word is complete. Not conforming is not the word, but basically conforming to the standards of mainstream America and what you're expected to do on ESPN. And now we're over here, we have all of this freedom, and it was like different comments that they kept making, and I just thought, for them being as big as they were and as big as they are, like, you shouldn't even gave that too much of the airtime, because it's like you still concerned about being back there when you're over here now, and just do this. But that's what they did. And then the last thing that I get into was it just was a big notice in the absence of the production of the production of an ESPN show or a Fox Sports show. That was very noticeable, that the show was it was really just slightly above like public access. What I could do at the public access cable station that's here locally. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but it was really quiet. All the graphics and all the buttons and whistles and all that stuff was gone, and it really made the show kind of quiet. And I just really didn't have a lot of interest in getting past the second or third episode that I watched. And they had the one sister on there, Crazy Eyes or whatever, from from Orange is the New Black. They had her on there. They had Charles Barkley on there. I'm trying to think who else did I watch. Like I said, LeBron was in the first episode. It was a couple different people, but like I said, it just didn't have that same presentation to it, that same production value to it, and that's kind of the downside of when you move away from, you know, a platform like an ESPN or a Fox Sports, and the show just really, like I said, it wasn't all that must watch. It just wasn't. And so, like I said, I only watched 2 or 3 episodes. I was just being nosy, and I don't know if I'll make it back to any more. I might go through and see who the rest of the guests were on the other episodes that I didn't watch. But like I said, man, it was a gamble, you know, to get that freedom and to leave that situation. But you know, when you've gotten to a certain place and you have a certain your name has a certain level of cachet to it, and you can go and explore different things, I guess you take advantage of that. And also, I mean, I understand the situation fully with Jemele Hill. In terms of Cari Champion, there was actually a video that I caught, an interview I caught of Jemele Hill, where I guess Skip Bayless, before he left First Take, he had an incident with Cari Champion. I don't know if she cut him off or she basically did a little too much in terms of being a moderator, and it rubbed Skip Bayless the wrong way. And I guess after the show, he said something to her that set in motion for Cari Champion to exit the show, and Cari Champion never spoke on it. Well, in this interview, Jemele Hill spoke on it, that Cari Champion called her and told her what Skip Bayless did to her or said to her, and then Jemele Hill spoke out on it on Twitter or something, and then Skip Bayless actually contacted Jemele Hill and told her, like, I basically made you. I gave you the game, and I molded you and showed you and encouraged you and empowered you to do everything that you went on to do at ESPN. How could you come out and betray me? You know, that was wrong. And, you know, of course, Jemele Hill was like, that's my sister. Like, what are you talking about? So it's just all these things, these little rivalries, these things behind the scenes that go on that we don't know about. And that was kind of like what led to Cari Champion getting out of there. And like I said, them moving over and taking advantage of this Vice Sports or Vice TV situation. I don't even know if it's going to be a season 2 of that. To be honest, like I said, I think the 8 to 10 episodes that I saw listed on demand, it was listed as season 1. And then I think for the last 2 or 3 weeks, there haven't been any new episodes. So I guess it could be on break or whatever. But it'll be interesting to see if it makes it back. So that was all of that. So there was one other thing. I'm getting ready to get out of here and get on this bike path, get this ride in. Damn, everybody is out today. It's overflow right here. So anyway, damn. I'm trying to find a place to park so I can get out and ride my. Oh, I got some parking spots over here. That's cool. So yeah, we're gonna get ready to get on off of here. I was just talking about some media stuff that before I do. So I also checked out the speaking of LeBron James, I checked out his he finally had a new episode of The Shop with him and Maverick Carter. It was a socially distanced episode. It was all by video, and this is the one where you've actually seen where President Barack Obama was on there. And obviously with it being near election time, you know why, he was selected to be on there. The one thing that I definitely get into before I get out the car was it made me question, is LeBron gonna, I didn't see your question or your comment, my man. it made me question what Stephen A. reported on First Take when the situation happened where they had the pause, where the Milwaukee Bucks skipped that or didn't come out of the locker room for that game. And the next day, Stephen A. came on air and said that he stopped the whole show and was like, I got breaking news. I got word from somebody that all the young players hated the way that LeBron James came at them. And LeBron James made the league be all about him. And LeBron really wasn't down for stopping the season or whatever. He made it like LeBron James was totally against doing any kind of protest, basically saying that LeBron James was more concerned about having his opportunity to get this ring that they ended up getting, that we all kind of knew the Lakers were gonna get. So that's what Stephen A. reported. But, and this is what's suspect about a lot of the reporting and what goes on everywhere, basically. You just never know who's really being truthful about any of this stuff. But what happened in this talk on the shop, Nuggets contenders next year for real? I think so. You were talking about human rights in China. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I don't really know what to tell you about that whole China situation, man, because, and I've said this on my channel before, what all is really LeBron James supposed to say about what's going on in China? I mean, what all do you really, what? And I guess maybe you're asking because he says he's talked about different things in this country, in the U.S., but who the hell wants to really listen to a back? LeBron is a hypocrite. That is what is going on. Okay, I mean, I'll take your word for that. Have you seen that? Or are you talking about the Muslims or that I don't know how you say their name, but it starts with the U. Okay, I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. But is LeBron supposed to fix? Yeah, that's it. But is LeBron supposed to fix that? I mean, the whole world gets all of its devices and everything that's in everybody's house is manufactured in China. But it's like LeBron is supposed to come out and speak up on behalf of Chinese people. Well, why the hell is everybody doing business with China if they're so evil? Why is this LeBron's problem? LeBron stays almost in. Because, bro, that's China. They're USA basketball. They're basketball players in the United States. They're talking about the communities that they come from. How are they then also obligated to talk about something over in China? I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I just don't understand how a league that's 77 or 80% black, I don't know how that's who we turn to address that. Now, if they want to speak on their own communities and what they see firsthand,